today and tomorrow will be a big determinant, but we've got to be hungry. I expect them to be hungry, but we better be every bit as hungry, or maybe more so.
You still got a 5-game homestand. That's pretty rare.
That is rare. I saw that today. I just happened to look at the schedule today. That is rare. You know, the SEC playing the 8 conference games. Most of those guys are having 7 and 8 home games.
You played a lot of people Saturday, and you said you were going to. Did you get everybody in you wanted to? You look back and go, no.
Yeah, we played everybody that we wanted to. There's probably some of those young kids we'd like to play a little bit more. You know, Tyke Smith, we'd like to play him a little bit more. We got Jordan Jefferson in there. I thought he gave us quality snaps. And we played you know, those two in particular at key times. Nick Troy played a good bit. KJ Martin played a good bit. So we played everybody that we really intended on playing. We probably could have played some of the young guys a little bit more.
Coach, you mentioned Tevin Bush. What did you think of his performance Saturday?
I thought he was big. You know, we named him the offensive player of the week. I thought he ignited us offensively. You know, I think that first play of the second half was big. The catch of the day was the one he made on the sideline and toe tapped to stay in bounds. The touchdown now, I mean, I might be able to get that one. You know what I mean? They blew coverage, but he's been a guy that's made a bunch of big plays. He hasn't always been the most consistent. So the challenge on him is, and I think he's going to be a big factor how we're going to be offensively, is he's got to consistently make those big plays.
Mike Brown showed an experience a little bit on in that game, or did he?
Yeah, he was a little overexcited.
A little excited.
Yeah, he was overexcited. You know, he's got to be able to handle his emotions better. You know, he's got to. He knows what to do. When the picture was a little bit different than what he was expecting, he can handle some of those adjustments very well. I expect him. He, Sam James, Sean Ryan, O'Laughlin, you know, those guys, Sinkfield, those guys that had played their first real meaningful snaps on offense. I think all those guys have played considerably better on Saturday in Columbia.
And with the illegal procedures, I think one of you guys were going tempo, had a right tackle.
Yeah,
nothing seemed consistent.
None of them were consistent. One of them was on the quarterback. One of them was on Kennedy, who this loaf get lined up, honestly. And then O'Laughlin got in his stance too early in the 4-minute deal. You know, freshman mistake. He's not supposed to get in his stance until about 10 seconds on the clock. He got in, held it for 25, and he flinched. You know. And then we had and then Mike had one. You know, it was a collection. You start getting worried about him if it's the same thing over and over. And like I said, it's one of those things that coach, like, I knew we were going to have procedure coming. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it. We had very few in scrimmages, but I knew it's one of those things you get out into a game scenario, you're on television, stands are full, you're going to have some of them. Now, I wish 3 of them didn't happen on 3rd down, and one of them happened in a 4-minute setting, you know what I mean? You know, at critical times. But, you know, those are things I think that we'll improve on.
You know, you simulated the home game. Can you simulate this away game for the staff and for the team?
You know, the good thing about this game for the staff, I think most of our staff has played there. You know, so there's some comfort in knowing, you know, what your hotel, what the locker room looks like. Now they've renovated it. They were in process last time I was there. I think they bolted in maybe. But now you can't really simulate it. Honestly, it's not that much different. The home game, I think you got to get on a plane. You know, we'll ride to Clarksburg and fly out.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird question. Sorry, but I noticed something Saturday that I hadn't really seen. The players warmed up and didn't have pads on.
Yep.
Just t-shirts.
Yep.
Made it really hard for me to tell who was. I was trying to figure out who your starting right guard was. Is it a strategy or a little bit of secrecy? Or
No. It wasn't personal.
More importantly, like Jay, you couldn't look across the field and figure out what you're doing.
Yeah,
personally.
I'll tell you honestly. Here's why. Is we started at in Troy in 2016, and we really started it because our kids were losing so much water weight during warm-ups. All right, because it's so hot, and we played all our games in the southeast, and it was so hot they were losing a bunch of water weight. All right, then our kids really liked it because they felt really fresh because they're running around out there. They don't have pads on. They feel really fresh. So when I came here, obviously the weather's not as big a factor. But I told our guys, I was like, hey, I told our leadership council, hey, this is what we did at Troy. We'll do whatever you want to do. If you want to warm up in pads, you warm up in pads. If you don't, then we won't. And they said, nah, we'd rather warm up in just helmets. And so that's what we're doing. Shoulder pads for the quarterbacks and long snappers, just because of the motion. But you know, if it gives them a psychological advantage, then I'm all for it. And it doesn't matter.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Yep.